Welcome back, my fridge dwellers. Today I have found a way to get an almost guaranteed way to get Z plus stats on your units every time. So stay tuned in for that. And don't forget to subscribe, please. Alright guys, yes, like I said, getting stats has never been easier with this method. Alright, so you know those units that you get that are like really super early and you're kind of like late in the game. This also applies to people who aren't late in the game. Maybe you're starting out and you get duplicates of like Sasuke, Naruto, characters you don't really want because you just want to like have like the meta characters. Do not sell those characters because that is the reason we are getting such good stats in the first place. My Roku, a Z plus and a Z plus, or even my Vegeta, as you know, all these guys have great. Even the godly, I did not get godly on Sun Jinwoo. I transfer it, so that's gonna be getting super good stats. Is getting transfers. With this over here with Aqua, the stat transfers of, you know, sometimes you get a really good pull of like stats like that. But another thing we can do is with those units like Sasuke, for example. If you ever want to evolve Sasuke, super easy to get snake scales and then all these other essence. You don't even have to get the 5k takedowns required for some of the really good units. You just need the materials, the gold, and that's it. And it's not even hard to get the snake scales if you have a good team. One of my videos that I did prior, Goku's such a great unit to start off with. Even getting Vegeta, also super easy and great. But with that method of getting Sasuke. But yeah, this is a duplicate. Obviously has C. You just want to get stat chips and then super stat chips if you want to raise his stat potential to 100%. If you don't think you're lucky enough like I am, you know, get him to 100 and then do it every time. But that takes way too long. I'm going to risk my luck and just reroll all. I have 55. Hopefully I get something good right here. Okay, Z. That is absolutely amazing and what we need, right? Z, it's not a Z plus stat transfers, but just hear me out for a second, right? We do have these super stat chips, so I'm gonna try to upgrade these super stat chips as well. Okay, it looks like I'm not that lucky, so I was only able to get a Z plus here. I'm gonna keep that Z plus because another thing, when you upgrade units, their stats go up a grade, maximum to Z plus, so you won't be getting any godlies with this strat, unfortunately. You can see here, if I upgrade them, I will get to that Z plus stats. If you're lucky enough to get all of these Z, obviously my luck isn't. After that, you just go to the stat transfer, click on the guy. Obviously he's gonna get the Z plus after evolve him, and then you're just able to, you know, only 10,000 gold, easy, just like that. You know, any unit that you want, if you want to give it to any of these guys. But yeah, pretty much an easy method of getting these. Now to get stat chips, also super easy. What I recommend is doing your challenges, because if you do it on the weekends, you get that 2 times challenge rewards, which is so good because you literally get 30 stat chips and 20 super stat chips just right then and there. You also get those trait rerolls, which is also pretty nice. But yeah, save your weekly challenges for the weekends because that's when you can maximize how much you get from those weekly challenges. Daily challenges also, you don't have to wait for the weekends because they're obviously daily, but make sure you're always doing those. Super easy to do because you get 3 stat chips and 2 super stat chips. Also, again, those trait rerolls, which is pretty good. And then obviously, if you want to like keep doing, get stat chips, you know, you can also just keep doing the 30-minute ones, which I mean, I kind of don't really recommend. You do get 2 if you're doing it on the weekends because of 2 challenge rewards. So if you really want to do that, go for it. But yeah, that's pretty much how you can get stat chips. Gold is another problem. Gold is just, for me, super hard to get in this game. You know, just all I can say is just get gems and just go hog wild on those summons. You know, sell every elite, normal, and gold legendary units. Thing you can also do is get those boss events. If you have that Goku, boss events are super easy. You know, get a bunch of these coins, go to the chips right here. You can also do stat chips over here. I don't have any coins because I haven't done this. But yeah, the trait reroll or the boss event shops refresh every boss event. I mean, you can also do the raids as well, you know, do all these events. They have their own currencies, so you could get gold that way. Pretty grindy, but your best bet is just to get a bunch of gems and then just go hog wild on that summons, just start selling everything. Obviously not those easy duplicates to evolve, because those are going to be your main thing of evolving things. And then also you do have this gold merchant. Obviously you don't want to waste your gold because you're going to be pretty much using all of it. But yeah, stat chips and super stat chips every day you can get 2 and 1. Just make sure you have that gold. I'm also going to, because I do have a bunch of Sasuke's. You know, I used to hate always getting Sasuke's, but then I realized I could do this method and it just helps a lot. And just like that, I just got another Z plus right there for the attack. So another character you could do is Obita. Pretty much all of those legend stages in the Naruto verse is pretty easy to do if you have a good unit. But yeah, like you see here, Obita does not need those 5,000 takedowns. That's pretty much gonna cover most of the video right there. You know, I'll probably do some rounds right here, show it in the video just to show how it works out. Yeah, and then another thing I also do want to mention is doing these also give you green essence stones. Now, if you grind enough, you can also, you know, craft any of the other essence stones with ease. Hopefully you're getting a bunch at a time and not just one. I'm pretty unlucky, so I usually just get one at a time. So it does take a while for me to grind these things out. And then if you ever want to know what's a good unit to farm for this, is gonna be Roku. I have not upgraded these guys once and they have carried me to wave 12, which is crazy. And I have the champions one on. I did have to place one over here in the back because they were getting through, but after a while I was able to sell it because these two just, even just 2 of them, I didn't even place all 3 of them over here in the front, but they just carried the boss right there. And then it's just amazing. If you want to know how to evolve this unit, make sure to look at one of my other videos. I'll put it right here, just so you know. So good, easily one of the best units, must have units to have if you want to get anywhere in this game. Yep, there's that 1-in-1 right there. This is gonna take a while. All right, and then yeah, just to prove I can do it, you don't even need both of the farm units. I only just used one right here. I didn't really get to max out both of them, but it didn't really matter because they can still do it without even being maxed. And then I just also had another idea that you can also do. The thing you can do is that if you get lucky with the stat chips like the regular ones, which do all of them, another thing you can do is that so you don't waste like you don't want to like upgrade this one and then you can't really upgrade them again, you know, you can't degrade them and then re-upgrade them, you know what I mean? Like you can't do that. So what you can do is that if you are able to, if you do have the gold, which I again recommend getting gold, what you can do is just get both of them and then, you know, just transfer onto the stat. This is if you have gold. If you don't have the gold, just gonna have to tough it out, you know. So now the Z's are on 1 unit, right? So now if I go to upgrade them, instead of having to upgrade 2 separate units, I now only have to upgrade 1 unit to get both of the Z pluses, right? It makes it easier so you don't have to do double the work of grinding the essence stones and also the snake scales. But yeah, what I recommend is also getting that money, which is the most important thing. Gold is such a necessity in this game. It's insane. That's pretty much going to cover everything. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It really does help this channel a lot. Next video, hopefully I get Sid. Or something drastic happens, like I get a monarch on someone. But here's for wishful thinking. That's gonna cover everything. Goodbye!